about today. I'm just going to let you know what I've been up to, let you know about the new content that we have coming up. We'll talk about a few of the legal issues, the current celebrity drama in the law right now, and I'll give you an excerpt. I'm doing a deeper dive into Miss Joseline Hernandez. I listened to part one of her interview with Carlos King, and we just have some things that we need to clarify and look further into. And that'll be my celebrity background check of the week. But also, I want to remind you guys, I need more requests for free background checks. So remember, if you or someone you know needs a free background check, all you have to do is go down into the About section of my channel. Here you go. Let me share it with you. On my channel, it's under the channel like About. If you scroll on over under under About, there we go. If you scroll on to the bottom, there's different links, and one of the links is win a free background check. Let me share it with you guys. There we go. There we go. It is a free background check. Oh, Lord. It should be this one. There we go. Yes. All right, let me share that one with you. Here we go. Can you see it? Yes. So that is the top of the page. You just scroll all the way down here, y'all, to links. Win a free background check. Remember, you can be anonymous, but when you complete the sheet, you do need to let me know who you are, what your name is, what your info is, why it is you want this person searched, etc. Because that's how I determine, like, are you just going to use this to try to harass the person, or for some nefarious reasons, or is it a legitimate one? I make those determinations, of course, before I decide who I'm going to gift the background check to. And I'm ready for a bunch of new inquiries. We've got the capacity. Again, you can come on for free. You will be anonymous. So will the person that I'm discussing. Although I share documents, I redact out their name, so their name won't be on there. And we can go forward from there. Now, if you don't want your request shared, then you can also hire me using one of the same links to do a private background check for you. That's just between the two of us. It's for a fee. The initial consultation for that background check right now is $99. It will be going up shortly. So go ahead, make your $99 reservation for your background check ASAP before that rate goes up, and we'll go from there. Also, I wanted to show you guys. Let's see if it'll let me switch on over. There you go. Here we go. I've got merchandise finally. So if you want to support the channel, one way to do so is by purchasing some merchandise. So these are different shirts that say allegedly in various different colors, etc. There are cups. We're going to have more stuff coming on there too. But it's The Girl Is That Legal Store. So I would truly appreciate any support that you give me there. And let's go on into it. Let me see if we got anybody who would like to join the chat. So I'm going to say glad to see that I'm back and looking great. Well, thank you so much. So there we go. So yes, so if you hadn't already watched or listened to one of the prior videos on the channel, the gist of it is I was recuperating. I was bouncing back after calling off my wedding. In July, I discovered that my fiance was they call it financial infidelity, but he was financially abusive. The long and the short of it is that he agreed to save $10,000 towards the wedding. My parents and I were covering the rest. And 2 days before the deposit was due, he comes to me and asks if we could elope. I didn't think anything of it. I thought he was just super stressed. So initially I was like, okay, babe, I just love you. Sure, we can elope. That's fine. And then I slept on it. And I'm like, wait, this doesn't make sense. At the time, we'd already invited everyone. They'd bought their flights. They'd paid for their rooms. So I'm like, why would we elope going to the same place in a private jet? That was the offer. As where we're supposed to be getting married, and discovered that when I checked the bank account, we had only $15.27 left. So spent all the wedding money. He spent it on himself. He has now acknowledged that he has spending and financial issues. And yeah, over $4,000 a month on cars that he buys because they make him feel successful. And he's given his soliloquy on what got him there and why he's done what he's done on his YouTube channel. You can Google that. But yes. And so before we get started as well, I wanted to just talk about the elephant in the room, which was so many people were like, well, how did you not know he was spending the money and doing these things? You do background checks, don't you? Isn't that what background checks are for? Yes. Somebody said, what the fuck? $15. Yes, girl, $15. And you're right. Yes, I do background checks. But here's the thing. Background checks only uncover what's on their background. It doesn't uncover their credit report. That's a separate search, although we did that and we exchanged those. But he admitted that these expenses that he incurred behind my back, he got in other people's names, in his mama's name, $126,000 vehicle in his mother's name. So I didn't see any records of that. None of them would come to the house. Those would all go to his mom's. So somebody said, baby, Symone is done. Yeah. And so in the end, I mean, I just don't want to be in a relationship where I have to double and triple check your background, your mama background, your dog's background, your son's background. Make sure you're not putting things in the name, in the credit of a child or any of the above. And a background check only covers behavior up to that date. Yes, that's right. So it doesn't cover what's happened subsequent to that and after that. And in the end, I am excited about what life has for me. Sunday was my actual wedding date, what it would have been. So my girls and I took a trip instead to the Caribbean, and we danced and we partied and we had a good old celebration. Because what I do know is, although I don't know who I'm going to ultimately end up with, I know that that relationship is going to be better than my wildest dreams, better than what I ever could have expected. So, as a result, if you have anybody who is newly engaged, getting married, thinking of getting engaged, please send them my way. I would love to give them a background check. Especially if they've been in a relationship for a while, whether it was short, whether it was long, bring them over here. Bring them over here. Let's do that background check and let's share. Thank you. Somebody said, love me and I deserve better. Thank you. I also realized, just like, as I made a post recently on Instagram, I said, have you ever been broke and happy, but you're still like so happy? I was going through my finances trying to figure out, like, where did all the money go? And I'm so happy. At this point, I only have to take care of me and my finances. I realized I was paying him a salary to do things that boyfriends generally just do because they love you. My sister actually owns the chicken franchise, and she was like, my husband works, 60, 70 hours a week for me for our franchise. And I've never paid him a salary. He's never asked for a salary. So I said, oh, you know what? I'm about to really get back on top. I'm only going to be paying for me. I'm not paying for anybody else to do anything. And even with this last trip, I only had to pay for my flight, which is awesome. Usually I have to contribute to various aspects of other people's flights, because when it comes down to it, if I didn't, we wouldn't go. So there's that. Now, that also transitions me into talking about the new content. What's new? We got some new stuff coming on the channel, y'all. All right. So, again, you can see that all the way. Okay. So we got new merchandise. We're also going to have some private member content. And let me tell you what that's going to be is we're going to have more story. I got to roll out story time, because y'all, if you knew some of the crap that has been happening to me, good, bad, and indifferent. So we're going to have story time with Symone, which is going to be kind of like off the record or whatever. So story time with Symone. That's going to be, different stories about my legal career, work, dating, all of the above. And then I'm going to have some behind the scenes content. Girl, I have to get back out here and do some dating. That's going to be interesting. So it's going to include that too. I decided to put that behind the membership wall because if you've read any of the comments, you know that I have a lot of haters, trolls. I have a lot of people who, really feel like I should stay in a financially abusive relationship, and that I am just being too picky, etc. And so I just feel like it's far less likely that behind a membership wall, I'm going to have to be dealing with that kind of thing. I think it'll be fun. It's also going to include, of course, members only lives, where I just get to go live behind the scenes when I'm doing regular stuff, like pretending to fold the same set of sheets for like 30 minutes when I really know I'm not cleaning nothing up in my room. It's going to be a variety of different things like that. So somebody said, I'd love to see you dating. Can we get a network show for that? Girl, let me tell you. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I am preparing for like one of my first dates is going to be I actually met somebody at a funeral. I like to call him Funeral Bay. So Funeral Bay, that's going to be interesting. He is, I'll just say that he is definitely financially responsible. He has 2 finance degrees from a top 10 university. So we'll see about that. He's very handsome too, but I think he's going to be crazy. And I have told him that. So we'll see. Mm. Oh, also, guys, I am a new professor at Thurgood Marshall School of Law. That is the HBCU law school here in Houston, Texas. I love it. I created a class called Law Practice 2, how to open your own firm straight out of law school with templates. And that's because with law school, they really teach you to just go work for somebody else who's probably going to either underpay you or abuse and mistreat you for what they are paying. So I want the students to have the skills and literally the templates that they need so that they can graduate, open their own firm, and start charging clients for their services because they're great at what they do and because they've been taught. So somebody said, just freeze those eggs and date freely. Girl, preach. I've actually been trying to freeze my eggs for years, but I previously had such a high egg count that the doctors were all like, oh, just, when you're ready, just try it. If it doesn't work for 6 months, come back and I'll prescribe you some things. So, but I think I'm ready. Yep, I need to go ahead and do that. So yeah, please buy this membership, y'all, because freezing eggs is going to be like $20,000. And you have no idea how upside down this breakup situation has me for various reasons, including I am back living in my Airbnb. So there's that. So we got this stuff. So let's go into some of these topics, y'all. So we're going to talk top topics. I am also going to drop the invite. Let's see. Back on here. I'm going to put it back in the chat and then I'm going to pin it. So let me go to YouTube so I can pin it. Okay, somebody wants to join. You're welcome to. You can ask a legal question. If you have a question for a friend, a family member, whatever, you're welcome to join. And here we go. Make sure the sound is off. You do not have to turn on your camera, so don't worry about that. Let me just make sure that I pin that bad boy. Hold on. It's going to make a noise because I need to mute it real quick. There we go. Let me pin this. Here we go. Great. All right. There you go if you want to join. Now. Here we go. Back to the different topics. Oops. Let's start with poor little Chrisean. Poor little Chrisean. So Chrisean just had her baby. Bless her heart. Here we go. Can you see that? There we go. Chrisean Jr. is here. Y'all, let me share this with y'all. Let's do a little share screen. If I can make that bigger. Hold on. Why is this not? There we go. Let's show it. There we go. What the heck? All right. I think you can see it now. Hold on. Let's share it. Let's do that share. Okay, there we go. So yes, Chrisean had her new baby with stupid old Blueface. Where did it go? Oh, there we go. And let's get back to it. There you go. Yeah, so Chrisean had her baby with Blueface, y'all. And as you've probably seen, she chose to name it a junior. So this is going to be, we've got baby Blueface Jr., bless his little heart. What do you guys think about naming it after the man? It's bad enough she didn't got the man's whole face tatted on her, but to also give the baby the name. I was like, ugh. But Blueface is saying basically that if she doesn't, quote, get her act together and effectively do what he wants, he's going to go for custody. Well, it sounds like it's the lesser of two evils because both of y'all are ridiculous human beings and probably neither one of y'all should have any custody. Here we go. Somebody said, you feel like you're an auntie. We know so much about that baby. I feel like I'm an auntie for that baby too. What happened? Sorry, guys. I don't know what happened there. Let me make sure the audio is still back there. We've got the Yeti. Yep, we got the audio. Let me make sure that you guys are still here because that was crazy. Sorry, you back? Okay. Do you see me now? Give me a thumbs up if you can see me. Let's see. Can you see me? She said we can hear you. Okay, good. You can see me as well. I don't know what happened there. Give me one quick second. Hold on. We're going to fix this. There we go. I'm going to fix the slides that I'm sharing with you. Boom. So you'll get those in just a second. What in the world? Yes, she did. Okay, yes. So Chrisean definitely did name the baby after herself. Poor little thing. Let's see if we can add that to it. Yes. Here we go. She named the baby after herself, y'all. But this had me thinking, like how Blueface wants to come take the baby. This is not the state to be playing around about that stuff for either of them, because right now, her net worth, according to what is this website? According to Gorilla Overview website, her net worth is 2 million and his is 4 million, right? But where there's a huge disproportionate amount in the income between the two, then even though you have your baby all the time, you could end up still having to pay him child support. So here, right now, she's making less than Blueface. But the truth of the matter is she's far more talented. And once she grows and gets out from under him and gets to her true potential, there's a huge chance that her net worth is going to be multiples of him. I envision she'll be worth 3, 4, 5 times what he's worth. Here's the problem when you're dealing with an ignoramus like him in the state of California. What California does is they calculate their child support like two pieces of a pie, right? So if you put child support for what? For the baby. If you take both incomes, so let's say she's at her full potential, right? She's worth 8 million and Blue is only worth 2 million. Okay, then that means she's got 80%, he's got 20. What California does, California wants to make sure that that baby is equally comfortable no matter which parent's house that they're at. So they will literally, even if she has the baby all the time, the majority of the time, and he just gets the kid like every other weekend, they will make her pay to him an amount of child support that makes it so that at his house, it's about $4 million worth of assets at both. This is the Cliff's Notes version, but it is really messed up. And that is actually what happened with Halle Berry. So here, when I say, we don't want her to end up like Halle Berry. So recently it was in the news that Halle Berry divorces this Spanish actor that she was married to, right? And she's got to pay him $8,000 in child support for a kid. And so, of course, lots of people were like, well, hey, that doesn't seem fair. Baby, let me tell you something. California is its own wild, wild west. So Halle Berry was actually only married to this man for 2 years. But all the rest of that time, it's been over 7 years, they've just been fighting about the divorce. He wanted her to pay her more money, etc. He's famous in his country and a big deal over there, but obviously it doesn't translate to Halle Berry money. So even though Halle Berry has the child the majority of the time, the dad is going to get him every other weekend. She still got to pay this man. Halle has custody. Yes, that's what people don't realize. Halle has custody and still has to pay this man $8,000 a month. Plus, she has to pay for all of the private school for this child, etc. And if she earns over 2 million bucks, she's got to give him 4.3% of that as child support. Did she have a prenup? Great question. She sure did. But here's the thing. Prenups cannot set child support in most states. That's because child support is supposed to be based on the best interest of the child. So a prenup can split up assets and things like that. But if you were to say, in my prenup, I'm waiving child support, a court would not uphold that because you don't have the right to waive child support for your kid. That's something that is for the best interest of a kid. In fact, I have a client. She was an older woman. She was married to this guy and she was nuts. She is wholly and completely nuts. So they were married about a year and he filed for divorce. Well, she was adamant about having a child. So she said, look, I know you don't even want to sleep with me anymore, but if you'll just agree that I can use your sperm for in vitro, I'll have you sign this document that says and agree to never come after you for child support. It's invalid. Even though they signed that, even though it existed, he brought it to court and court still made him pay child support because agreements that say I'll never come after you for child support are considered impermissible under the law because they're not in the best interest of the kid. Yep. So yes, Halle Berry is getting hit for not one, but two child support payments. So remember her older daughter that was with that model guy, whatever his name is. He was so good looking. Aubrey, whatever the heck his name was. Yes, for that model guy, she actually has to pay him. I have those amounts here too. So initially, now mind you, with Aubrey, she had her daughter Nyla the majority of the time. He only had the child 20% of the time, yet and still, she had to pay that man $16,000 a month. He's a model. Google him. Gabriel Aubrey, that's his name. Gabriel, he's a model. He would just sit around being pretty all day. At $16,000 a month, I'll have your baby too. And I only have to deal with the child weekends, every other weekend a month. And if I choose to, a month in the summer. So she recently had a victory in that case where she went back to court to get the $16,000 a month reduced, and the judge cut it in half to $8,000. So now she only pays $8,000 to both of her children's fathers. So in total, she's paying $16,000 a month for children that she has primary custody of. So ladies and gentlemen, that is why you need to pay very close attention to the state that you file for child support in. Because guess what? For those same two kids, if she had moved to Texas and filed for divorce here, which I suggest all rich people do, the maximum child support, let me clarify. She moved to Texas and filed for divorce here. She would be paying $0 in child support. $0. Because the way that the state of Texas calculates support is that both parents are supposed to contribute and that every parent is supposed to give 20% of their income no matter what it is. So if you have a baby with a man flipping burgers at Burger King, he's got to give you 20% of that burger check. He doesn't get to say, oh, well, you make so much more. And get up and go to work. Everybody got to get up and go to work in Texas. I got to get up and go to work. You got to get up and go to work. Everybody in Texas has to get up and go to work to pay child support. And more than that, child support in Texas is capped for one child at $1,850. Two kids, I believe it's $2,300. Whether the person makes 10, 20 million or whether they make 160,000. So child support is capped at assuming that monthly the other parent brings home no more than $9,200 a month. So literally a millionaire who is a baby daddy in Texas, would not, for 2 kids, would not have to pay more than $2,300 a month. Now, they may say they have to pay for daycare and private school too, but they could actually write that check directly to the schools. So the advice that I would give Chrisean would be, take your behind to someplace like Texas, buy you a house. And no, let me clarify. It's tricky with Chrisean because if she becomes the breadwinner, she should absolutely go someplace like Texas, because Texas will cap what she has to give him, and she wouldn't have to give him anything. He would still have to give her money. So I know she's from Baltimore. Baltimore is another one. Go buy you a house in Baltimore and that be your residence. But you want to look at 2 different states. So I don't know exactly how Maryland does it, but I would call a family lawyer and say, I want you to calculate child support. How much worst case scenario, if I become, a huge multimillionaire, would I have to pay him, even if I keep custody? And then what would he pay me? Because a lot of women who are wealthy, they just don't want to have to pay that man. Like Halle Berry's out here shelling out $16,000. Because let me tell you, the way if Chrisean has to pay that man a dime, and he's a one-hit wonder. He don't have many talents. So any day now, I anticipate his career being over, right? I could see him definitely trying to gas her up. Oh, good, we got a caller. Trying to gas her up and using Jada to really interrogate her, and then taking her money and spending it on him and Jada. Hey, okay, so we've got someone to add. I'm going to unmute you. Hey, BB. I see you're an attorney too. You are, unmute yourself if you can unmute yourself, BB.
Hi, I'm sorry. I meant to just observe. No comments.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Well, we appreciate you. If you change your mind, I'm going to hit remove. But if you change your mind, we're happy to have you in any commentary. Okay, I'll pull you down.
Thank you.
Sure. Yeah. So someone else had asked. Somebody said Texas is not a divorce child-friendly state. Texas is strange. So Texas is good for women not to have to pay, but horrible for the gold digger. Exactly. Texas is horrible for a gold digger. And I won't call her a gold digger, but you can go by the facts. There was a guy who used to play on Miami Heat named Chris Bosh. He looks just like a pterodactyl if you've ever seen him. Chris Bosh happens to be from Texas, Dallas, Texas. And he got with this girl. I forget, I think her name was like Alicia or something like that. They had a daughter together, and then he broke up with her and he gets with the woman he's now married to. So Alicia goes for child support because she's unhappy with the amount that he's giving. Again, remember, at the time he's playing for Miami. Well, Alicia, whatever her name is, I'm gonna call her Alicia. Alicia made the number one mistake you don't make in selecting a lawyer. She done picked this lady with an AOL email address. Listen, I always say, if your lawyer has AOL, you're going to jail, okay? You get you an attorney with AOL.com. They are not abreast on the most recent laws. They generally don't even know what's going on. Hell, they probably still using dial-up and got to wait for somebody to get off the phone to send you an email. Well, this attorney of hers filed for child support in Texas, where he happened to own a home, but not Florida, where he was playing for the Miami Heat. He even had a Florida driver's license. Well, baby, now mind you, neither Florida or Texas pay state income taxes, so they couldn't look at that. So she files a court awards. At the time, child support was capped at $1,500. He says, being funny, he maybe he wasn't being funny, but he was like, I'll go ahead and I will give you all $1,500 plus I'm gonna give you extra $1,000. I'm giving you $2,500 a month. Well, hell, she thought she was gonna be pee popping and never have to work again. At $2,500 a month, you got to get up and go to work. That's not even a good downtown 2-bedroom apartment. So she's livid. She runs to the courts and she has her little AOL lawyer file a motion to transfer venue from Texas to Florida, because for the exact same child, same facts, she would have been awarded $30,000 a month, more than $30,000 a month for child support. But in the end, they had a hearing and the court ruled, hey, you filed first in Texas. He does have a home in Texas. The child lives in Texas. So we're going to go with Texas. And oh, girl had to get up and go to work. Yep. She sure did. So, I don't want that for y'all. So make sure if you or a loved one is ever in that situation, they consult the law before they end up. And we're gonna pray for Miss what's her face? Chrisean. I'm going up to the top. Hold on. We got these comments. Hold on. All right, next up. All right, next up. Now, this one is one that has just really been, it was really fascinating to me. So the question here is, let me pull it on up. Hold on. Oh, shoot, that ain't it. Hold on 1 second. We're pulling it up. All right, here we go. Pull this down. We're going to share this screen real quick. And then we're going to end on Shalinica. There we go. All right. So would you, if you were concerned that your boo was cheating, would you ever consider doing DNA infidelity testing? So a friend of mine owns a business where she literally helps people who are concerned that their spouse or significant other is cheating. She performs infidelity DNA tests. Now, of course, I dealt with financial infidelity, which is its own ball game, right? But we're talking here actual cheating infidelity. Somebody said, "Ooh, that's wild." Yeah, come on, Texas. Yes. So, and this is a national service that's offered. So here's how it works. I was so shocked and confused. I had to rub my head on this one, y'all. So how it works is now there are multiple companies out there. This is one. If you need a referral, I can certainly give you. They're located in Grapevine, Texas, but what they can perform is infidelity testing. How it works is this. This is when you think your spouse might be cheating. So some instances where it was used was maybe there's a prenup that says, hey, if you're caught cheating, I don't have to give you nothing. And so one of the spouses will take the other's panties, underwears, drawers, and test them for DNA that doesn't belong to the spouse. Yes, y'all. Yes. So what this company can then do, and they have different kinds of testing. They can then, so they swab the undies, they'll swab spots on the undies because it'll either be her DNA, it could be the spouse's DNA, it could be a third party. And the testing will even let you know whether the DNA that's found is male or female. So, of course, they'll be able to exclude you, and then they could exclude your significant other. But they'll be able to let you know that if there is another woman's DNA on your man's boxers. Ooh, ooh. And so apparently the best way to do it, the best way to do it. So I was asking, I was like, how do they even do that? She said, you got to get it out the drawer. You got to get it out the dirty hamper. Don't you go for no new nothing. Don't go for anything like that. You want to get it out the hamper. Because what do people do? As soon as they come home from cheating, go put it in the hamper, not thinking that's what you about to search. And you can take a few pairs, send it off, you mail it off for testing, and then you get your results. Oh, baby, that'll change the game in all different kind of ways. So I want to hear in the chat, if you felt your fiance or significant other was doing that, would you want to test them before the wedding? Or would you just want to rely on, hey, I'm just, I'm trusting this person? Somebody said, but guess you better come up with no girls. That'll help too. Yeah. I mean, and it's actually not that expensive. Depending on what kind of testing you want, it starts in like the hundreds, like 300. I can be at $300 and up. Somebody said, yeah, I wouldn't mind if I truly thought that somebody was cheating. I say get everything tested before you get married. You want it all, honey. I would want it all. Somebody says somebody's gonna find out their significant other is on the DL. Oh yeah. I especially in Atlanta. Ooh, in Atlanta, don't you? Be real careful getting them Atlanta draws. Mm-mm. Definitely. So yeah, if you want more information on that, I can send, but it's Fast Labs of Grapevine. I'll put it in the chat. And they actually take shipments from across America. It's really crazy. It's a franchise, but the woman who owns that one is African American, so you would be supporting a Black-owned business. Somebody said, if I knew he was cheating but had no way of proving it, I would have his underwear tested. Because the cool thing that I like about it is you can have that done without them ever knowing. You know, they're just gonna be missing their favorite pair of drawers or whatever for a few days, a week, or whatever. But I like the idea of you having something like that done, getting your answer, and then choosing to present it. Somebody said, "What a bumper! What a bummer if your man is with a man." Hell yeah. Absolutely, hell yeah. Also, the other thing, another test, she offers a variety of testing at her Fast Labs location. But y'all, they also offer DNA testing while the baby is still in the womb. And I'm gonna guess that that's what Chrisean and Blueface had, because apparently he's convinced now that it's his, and he doesn't seem to be mentioning the DNA testing, even though he didn't show up at the funeral. Oh Lord. Oh, pray for me. He didn't show up at the birth, not the funeral, at the birth, right? But yeah, they also offer in womb DNA testing that you can do before the baby comes out, so that you can know who the father is. And I think that would be, I can definitely understand wanting to get that done as a mom, because here's the thing, men want to put that pressure and be like, I don't know if it's mine, etc. Guess what though? If you get that testing done while that baby is in the uterus and it confirms he's the father, he doesn't get to wait till the baby's born to then go through child support court and da 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 da. You're able to immediately file and immediately begin to get support and relief, including he needs to be liable for those delivery bills. Because honey, if you don't have health insurance, that can easily be $30,000 right there. Somebody said I'm killing off people. Somebody said, so they only cancel out that your DNA is not present, and then someone other than your DNA, and it proves to prove that he's cheating. Okay, for the DNA, going back to DNA. So they're able to show not just another person's DNA, but also the gender of that other person. Now, if you have a sample of, like, so if you think he's cheating with the secretary and you have a DNA sample from that secretary, maybe you took a coffee cup from the office or something else, I'm sure you could submit that too and be like, okay, there's extra DNA on his drawers. Is it this hoe right here? Is it this one? Which of the hoes is it? Hell, you could just have a Christmas party in the office and tell everybody you're recycling. Tell everybody, put your names on your cup. We're recycling. We're recycling, guys. And then have everyone put it into one trash can. Send the whole trash can with everybody's cup with their name on it. Send it all off to the clinic. And you can figure out which of the people in the office is your husband messing with. That might be one way to go. I don't know. That's just my suggestion. Somebody said that's why paternity testing is so important. Absolutely. Absolutely. All righty. And then last but not least, y'all, Miss Joseline. Now, next week, again, we're going to get back onto our background checks as we usually do. But again, I need you guys to encourage your friends and family to go to my site, to fill out the form. Let's see, the form on my YouTube channel that's right there under, if you go all the way over to About, scroll all the way down under About. Here we go. Share this tab. There we go. Come all the way down. Fill out one of these for a background check. I want to give away a background check, y'all. But I need you guys to have more people submit so that I can do just that. And again, if you want a private one, you can hire me. Click one of these links as well and go from there. Now, Miss Joseline, let's see where we got her. Oh, I guess that was her. Oh, that one was on Monique. Had one recently. Let's see. We'll go back to that. I'll pull this down. Well, Miss Joseline Hernandez recently, there we go, I pulled that down. Miss Joseline Hernandez has been in the news. She was recently on Carlos King the other night. She was discussing a variety of different things, including, her time on her show. She's discussing her marriage, etc. And one of the things she kept mentioning is how, she is ready. She wants to have another child. She'd like to have another, a baby with her husband, Ballistic, etc. Now, I'm going to give you a little tease because we're going to need a whole 30 minutes for this one, for this deep dive. But I'm looking into Miss Thing and it ain't adding up, y'all. The math ain't mathing. So let me see. Pull it on up. Which one is this? Blah, 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 blah. Let's see. Okay. Oh, here we go. Will this let me click it? Okay, I gotta click it from the other screen. All right. Here we go. We're gonna share this. There we go. Wait. Where'd it go? Okay, here we are. All right, I'm gonna share this with you. I'm gonna play it. Let me know if you can't hear it.
Yeah. But listen, y'all see him over there? Hey, Miss Nanny Coney, Mrs. Coney, what are you doing here? I feel so blessed to have you. You gotta show me how to take care of my next baby, okay? My next baby, I need help, okay? Please. What we gonna cheers to? We're gonna cheers to that are sitting, not on their knees.
We're gonna cheers to succeeding and not sucking dick. That's the way.
Unless you gonna get that check.
That part right there.
Lord, all right.
This is sexy.
It's good, huh?
Yeah.
I'm planning on having my next baby soon.
You want a son?
I need a son. Now, what time's it?
5 years.
Okay, there we go. Did it sound? I want that sound. Hold on 1 second. It keeps making the noise. There we go. Hold on. Okay, and now I'll just screen share with you guys. Give me 1 quick second. Oh, it's lagging. Here we go. Come on. Give me 1 quick second. I promise it's worth it. While you're waiting, I want to know, do you guys think that she's already married to Ballistic? She has talked about that she is doing a wedding special. It's going to be on BET or BET Plus, one of the two. Do you think she's already married? Do you think they got married? They've been dating since like 1999. There we go. All right. Sorry, guys. Come on. Click it. It's giving me a delay. How long this document is. I got too much going on. You can open it a different way. Got it. Come on. Sorry, guys. It's going slow, but I promise it's worth it. Next time we'll have everything like preloaded. away because this is annoying. Come on. Okay, here we go. We got this. All right, and just make sure it's properly sharing it. All right. Well, share, dude. What happened to it? Hi, Miss B. I do see you there. We're getting the screen share. Okay, here we go. Oh, come on. It's like freezing. Okay, here we go. Here we go. All right. So again, talking about the 46-year-old, I'm sorry. She likes talking about how she's 36 years old. However, here goes the share. Come on. There we go. Let me pull this banner off. Let's remove this comment. There we go. And the banner. Hold on, let's remove it. So, but the thing is, so we're going to do more of a deep dive into her. But basically, we're going to start with is Miss Shalenica. So her real name is Shalenica Betancourt. That is Joseline Hernandez's real name. But we've discovered that it appears based on one of her felony charges that she's actually a bit older than she'd like for us to know. Specifically, so this was a felony charge that she got in 1997. Well, I whited out her full address, but this is where she lives. This is her address, and it lists her date of birth as 6/19/1977. What is that? Yeah, 6/18/1977, which would make a lot more sense because she definitely gives Gemini vibes as the nut that she is. But yeah, specifically, it's got her home address that is consistent with other addresses that she has in Florida. It's got her age as 44. In fact, there are multiple documents that we've located that show that she's actually 46, not 36, which she wants us all to believe. That also makes a little more sense because of all that she's been through. For example, in 1997, she had her first arrest that was like for lewd and lascivious behavior, etc. And that would mean she would have been 11 years old. The 1997 arrest, correction, was like, it was a felony arrest. Lewd and lascivious was 2003. But yeah, so we've got these documents that talk a little bit more. Here we go. This is what it was. Uttering a forged instrument, so forging. Remember, she did say she used to lie about her age. And this is also grand theft. But here's the thing, guys. Athens State, 1997. Well, she says she was born in 86. So that would mean she's 11 years old committing grand theft. 11 years old forging a document? Probably not. I think the 46-year-old estimate is probably a lot more accurate. So we've got that. And in addition, I'm going to share this next one, which is a marriage license. And it's a marriage license that shows that she actually married this guy, Matthew Tremelin, in Fort Lauderdale in 1997. Now, again, if she's 36 years old, that would mean she got married at 11 years old? I don't think so. I don't think so at all. So, and now if you look at the birthplace as Guyana, she has listed in her records various different locations. Now, one website states that she was born in Puerto Rico, but moved to America when she was 6 years old. But other court records and documents that I've obtained actually say she's from New York. They state that she's from New York. She was born in New York and has lived in Fort Lauderdale for most of her life. She actually went to high school in Fort Lauderdale. So I guess she's the Puerto Rican princess, is like a baby princess, perhaps. I'm not exactly sure. But Let me know if you guys want me to do more of a deep dive into her, because again, my theme is engage people that are not telling the truth. So what she's been saying is that her and Ballistic are engaged. All right. Well, let's just make sure Ballistic knows what he's getting himself into. He says, yes, but you have to go. Oh, that's something else. What he's getting himself into. And does he know exactly who he is marrying? Let's see. Somebody said she lied to Dime Penny about her name. Somebody said, oh, she's so 46. I'm going for 46 too. Somebody said she looks older than 36. Career criminal. It has been proven that hasn't been proven she's Puerto Rican. No, because these are all Black locations in Florida. No, it hasn't been proven that she's Puerto Rican. The only places that list Puerto Rico as her locations are self-reported things, including the only document that lists her as, let me pull that up. The only document that lists her as actually being 36 years old is, and I'll put it up for you, her current arrest. Here we go. See, y'all see it? See, I knew that was gonna happen. See, she done had the powers that be and her sources come on in here and knock our chat loose. Y'all hear me? I'm back. Can y'all hear and see me? Can y'all hear and see me? I'm back. Okay, let me see. Do you see me? Oh, goodness. Okay, great. So sorry about that. Yeah. So apparently I think she done came in here and had the powers that be knock our chat right on off, but that's okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to do the deep dive. I'm going to summarize it all up. And then I want you guys to come back and I want to hear your views in the chat. Let me know what you think. And ultimately, let's just make sure that this fiance of hers knows exactly what he's getting into before he gets married to her. Now, if you guys have any questions that you want answered in the chat, make sure that you let me know. Somebody says, so many Spanish speakers have said that they don't understand her, quote, Spanish. Oh, that's so funny. She's American. Yeah, and I'll pull the documents that I have to show you how it's just self-reported. Like literally, a lot of times when you get arrested, the police will just say, what's your date of birth? What's your this? What's your that? If you don't have your ID on you or they can't access it. Somebody said, wait, she's African-American and Puerto Rican. I know her father's last name is Betancourt. So I don't know exactly what that means. Her mother is a Hernandez. But as you know, with Puerto Rico, that's a U.S. territory. So you don't need any special paperwork or any documentation to come back and forth here. Somebody said, I think she ought to calm down when talking to the police. That would really help, especially if she doesn't want her business all out there, because ultimately her only arrest that lists her as being this 36 years old that she claims is that most recent arrest, that she had in Florida because it was self-reported. If you recall, she was beating up the police. And so I'm sure while beating up the police, she didn't simply hand over her driver's license from her pocketbook that was across the room. Instead, she took her cell phone and she launched it at Ballistic's head, which is why she got arrested. So the age, literally on the form, it says admitted age, as in this is what she is saying is her age. And none of her other arrests that she's had over the years ever list the 32-year-old age. And there's a lot more interesting facts that have come out about the Puerto Rican princess. Somebody said, honestly, her demographic, her audience is Black American, but she puts the Spanish on people. I think perhaps, now, she very well may have been born there and came to America when she was 6, or it could be similar to me. Like, I wasn't born in New Orleans, but that's the heritage of my family and, on my mother's side. And we very much claim the culture, the food, all of that. And that's okay to do. But I almost wonder if this was her shtick that she created to make herself unique with respect to the rap industry. By labeling herself the Puerto Rican princess, now she's unique and no one else is like her. Especially at that point, that was actually before Cardi B became what she was. And she was on the show, I believe, first, and Cardi B was added later. So we'll do a deeper dive into that. Thank you guys. Make sure you hit that subscribe, hit that like, tune in so that you get the login for the next episode. And I promise I'm going to be early on the next one because we got a lot to go through, and I'll have my assistant there who can very quickly put those documents up for y'all. Also in the comments, let me know any other topics that you want me to look into or dive into. I really enjoyed it. And make sure you join that membership if you haven't already. Take care, guys.